Great. Thanks, guys. That's me trying to plug a USB in. Why is it that every time you try and attempt to plug in a USB, it's never right the first 16 times you try? I don't understand. All those memes are so true. But there you go. I was just saying today. So, hey, thanks for joining us. Today, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about bundling. Bundling is something you may do and not know that you do. It may be something in your practice that you've explored, you've tried. Uh, we're going to cover how powerful bundling can be. And then by the end of this, I want you to be very clear on what bundling is and to give you a bunch of ideas on what you're already doing in the office that you can bundle and make more money. So when we talk about statistics, it's really important to know your office visit average, your OVA, your CVA, your cost visit average, your PVA, patient visit average. These are all things you can calculate. If you need some help with that, just holler in the groups and I can help you, or PM me and we can get those. But those are really important to know. And there's so many things you do in practice already that you can bundle. Even if you're just a straight chiropractor and all you do is chiropractic, there's things that you do that you can bundle just in chiropractic and increase your patient visit average. Some of you like to do care planning, some of you don't. We all do care planning. This doesn't become a philosophical question about whether it's supposed to be done or not supposed to be done. You all care plan. Whether a patient comes to you on day one, you're going to give them some type of plan. You're either going to tell them to come back on Friday or you're not. Or you're going to tell them to come back on Friday for a day two and give them a plan. Some of you do 6-visit plans. Some of you are very acute based, and that's okay. Some of you are wellness based. You do 50-visit plans, 2-year plans, whatever it may be. But when we bundle, it's the little things in our office. And it was so cool to watch my most recent associate come on board with us, an upper cervical doc. He was excited to come and learn Blair in our office. And I pretended like I was clear cut black and white with my care plans. And I was always perfect. And he's going to do it that way too. And he honestly thought, okay, this is the way to do it. And his OVA was like $100 a visit. And I was like, this guy's making more money than I am. And what he did is he took the adjustment, and he's like, I also enjoy working with people for 10, 15, 20 minutes. I like doing range of motion and sports work and active release and Graston and trigger points. He like adding that to his 5-minute adjustments. I'm like, you can't do that for what we're doing it. You got to charge more. So he would take the insurance code for manual therapy and add it to the chiropractic adjustment, 98941, and then a manual therapy code on top of that. His manual therapy code, I think he kept it at $30. We still do this. I do it for any extensive visit that I do, but he would bundle this into the care plan. He'd say, listen, we need to do 12 visits. These first 12 visits are going to be chiropractic and the myofascial release that we're going to do to help you get as much range of motion as fast as we can. And then we're going to do 12 visits afterwards where I don't think we're going to need the myofascial. You should be all released by that point. And after that, we'll do 12 visits of chiropractic. So we'll do twice a week for 12 weeks. Does that make sense? 2 times 12 equals 24. And they're like, yes. So he would take a 24 visit care plan and he would put in 12 extra visits of myofascial release at $30 on top of the $65 chiropractic visit. And he'd have $95 visits for half of the plan. This was a 30% increase in his care plans right off the bat. So many of you do this. You do adjustments. You do a little bit of myofascial release. You may do some cupping. You may do some factor, some Graston. You may do some whatever it is, craniosacral, SOT. The list goes on. And I know there's dry needling. You may have an acupuncture certificate, whatever it may be. There's so many things you can bundle into your care plan. So I want you to take a moment and really think right now so that in 2024, you have something to offer all your patients. And remember, when you bring something new in, it's going to be for your new patients. So your existing patients don't have to be slammed with some type of new procedure, increased fees. They don't have to do that. They just continue on using your care as always without any of those surprises, which makes it super easy for you. So think more of bundling than fee increases. Now, moving to 2024, depending where you are in the country in North America, yes, there is a range that you can charge, but you guys should all be north of $50 a visit. If you're not charging more than 50, and this is after discount. So if you do care plans and you give 10% off, that 10% off should still be above $50 per visit. So please, if you're not there, increase it. It makes everybody stronger. Trust me on this. It makes the entire profession stronger when we are being charging a fair fee for what we do. Please, just everyone, just do this. Those of you doing $20 visits, I simply don't understand. You can still bundle and grow that value average up there. I'm not talking about insurance. Those of you that play the insurance game, I know there's ranges of what they pay for things. But for all of us, please increase your fees in 2024 with inflation. I mean, there's ranges between 8 and 26% of inflation that we've gone through over the last 2 years, depending on which graphs you want to read. I'm going to lean towards, the 18, 20% increase in life. For sure, your practice needs to say that you won't survive. I'm telling you this right now. You won't survive the next 5 years if you don't start making these moves right now. So you don't have to be the most expensive. You really don't. I think that's a disadvantage because fair market value in your area is always being shopped. You know, the patients who do this, they call your office. Hey, the first question they ask, how much do you charge per visit? Do you take insurance? How much do you charge per visit? They're price shoppers. These are typically cheapo people. They're going around looking for the best price, and that's okay. You do it too for many different things. How many times do you pick the chicken, the pack of chicken that is 39 cents cheaper than the other pack of chicken? I do it all the time. It's ridiculous. I get the meat and I'm like, I saved. That was 100 grams more and it cost more. And now I get 100 grams less chicken, but I spent less chicken, whatever. That's just, we all do it. I'm just being human here. I'm sharing it with you. So when it comes to bundling, think about all the things that you do. It's called the value stack. And this is another thing you can do. We can do a whole adjusting success on the value stack, but stacking what you do and valuing it to the patient is a psychological thing that you just got to master as time goes on. So when you do a report on the second day or some type of care plan on the second day, you got to have some type of plan, right? And during there, you're going to describe your findings on day one. You're going to say, this is what we found. This is what we're going to do. I'm so glad that you found us. We have the answers for you. This is what we need to do. Except for your condition, we have two options. We have the patch it or the fix it. I still do something along those lines. You can make that any way you want, but it gives the patient the option, the psychological option that they are in control. When you don't give them any options and you say, this is how it's going to be, very Victorian, you lose them on a psychological and emotional prevalence because they are like, listen, you're just telling me what to do. I don't know what the real answer is. Now I definitely have to go home and think about it. But when you give them options, they start to make the decisions for their health. You get better outcomes. So when you bundle things together, just that is a value stack. And you can charge more for this. You can bundle different therapies together. Our office is like a lab for the chiropractic profession as far as bundling. So I'll give you some examples of what we do in our office. That was one that our associate did very well. He, right out of the gate on day one, when he started seeing new patients and doing day twos, he was trained that there was no other way. He didn't know that I wasn't doing the manual therapy codes because one, I didn't want to do 15-minute visits, but sometimes I would do a little bit of active release and not charge. He's like, you told me we can't do that. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't want you to have any bad habits. It's like my kids. Don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, don't do that stuff, right? But I like my bourbon every now and then. So these are the things that we taught him, and it worked so well. And I was like, wow, look at all the other things we do in our office. Our current associate, she bundles chiropractic and acupuncture flawlessly. She brings it all together. She loves it, and she does a great job with acupuncture. So she can bundle those things together, no problem. It makes sense to her. When it comes to pregnancy and prenatal care, she bundles plans for that as well. It's chiropractic plus, reassessments for the kids or everything, and it just ups the office visit average at the end of the day, which gives her a higher return on investment, which is fantastic. So in our office, those are just a couple examples. Then you can start bringing in modalities. Cold laser, shock wave, soft wave, ultrasound, red light. What else we have? Dry float, infrared saunas. So this is where the shiny object syndrome comes in our profession, where we're like, oh, what else can I go and buy and add? That's not the best way to look at this. You have to master the bundling first before you can bring in anything else in your office. Otherwise, you're going to have a stagnant piece of equipment that you don't know how to bring in and utilize. Once you master the bundling component, that's where you will be able to bring in other things if needed. But once you master the bundling component, you don't need to bring in other things because your OVA goes up, which means your bottom line goes up, which is absolutely fantastic. And it doesn't cost you more people, more equipment, more overhead, more subscriptions. It's just straight up good business and profit. So that's the way to do it. Philosophically, where we run into dilemmas, and guys, you can ask questions at any time. I don't think I'm missing anything on the feed here. Let's go to YouTube just in case. Just in case. I don't like missing these sometimes. Good. Okay. Nothing so far. Ask questions at any time. How close? Here, let's do this. Show this. Perfect. How close in cost do you like the upper plan and the patch it, or the upper plan, the patch it plan? I used to give 3 options. Now give 1. I'm not married to anything, but I do lose people that want to think about it. Yeah. Great. Super great question. I'm going to leave this up as we answer this. So how close in cost? Really, whatever choice you make, and most states and provinces across Canada have rules about this. It's dual fee schedules. Be careful with this. You will get nipped some way or another, whether you're under Medicare or insurance or not. Be careful with this. It comes across because many of you are like, oh, I'm 100% cash. And then we talk for a little bit and we realize we're not 100% cash because we're doing things like motor vehicle accidents, right? If you take one motor vehicle patient, now you're in a dual fee schedule because you got to be careful on what you charge them. So are you going to give a motor vehicle accident patient a care plan and give them 10% off? Please say no to that, especially all you US based doctors. You can't do that, right? You have to charge your fee. So be careful with this. The rule is whatever you do, you keep it the same, 10%. Less modalities, yeah. So whatever you do, you do. So that's up to you. I do the 10% rule, and that's all we have. So we have 2 options in our office. I used to do the 3, and I know where you went to learn this. It rhymes with C for C, or Everest. And these guys are all great, and I learned a lot from them as well. I did them. Great ideas. But the reason I went down to 2 is because I just did all this value stacking. Hey, Mary, thanks for coming in. I learned a lot on your exam that day. I hope day 1 went well for you. I know we just did a little adjustment, but we're going to do a lot more today. Here's what you're going to need to get better. And I figured it out. We're going to do chiropractic adjustments 2 or 3 times a week to get started until you feel happy. I draw a smiley face right there. Once you're happy, then we're going to reassess. During this time, you're going to get adjusted. We're going to do some myofascial release. We're going to do some dry needling. You're going to see my massage therapist, and we're going to do some vibration therapy on the plate to get your balance improved as quickly as possible. These are all minimally invasive and won't cause you a lot of pain. But once we get to this point, I expect you to be happy. You might be 80, 90, closer to 100% at this point. Does that make sense? That's the whole point you're here. They're nodding. They're getting it. I just built a bunch of value of what we're going to do. Once you're happy, then the homework starts to kick in. I'm going to give you this, and this. There might be home stretches, dental rolls, cervical traction units, wobble discs, the CBP stuff. We do a lot of that stuff in our office. Doesn't matter what you do or what we do, but we start to bundle that. And I'm like, listen, you can't stretch or do exercise or go join CrossFit now that you're in a lot of pain. So I'm not going to give you any of that until, and I keep pointing at the smiley face. They're like, I get it. All they want is the smiley face. But I'm building this all up. This next phase is going to be the longest phase. We got to strengthen after you feel better. Once we get stronger, then we move towards a healthier life because now we know we've reinforced all the work that we did. Otherwise, we're stuck in a patch it model. So that's how we do that. That's the value stack. And in that value stack, you're bundling with all the stuff that you're doing there anyways. So the point of the psychology is just making this list, putting everything. Once you come in, we have an espresso machine. You're going to drink a coffee or get some water. You're going to sit down. You're going to come to the office. You're going to lie down. You get a new fresh piece of paper every time you come in. You get to wash your hands. You get new soap. You get just your value stacking everything. We got tissue paper. We got anything. If you're crying, we got Kleenex. And you just value stack everything that you do. I'm being silly right now, but it's because I'm running out of ideas. And then when you get to the bottom, reassess, re-X-ray, all of this is included in your plan. Now they're thinking, man, this is going to be a lot. I've been to the dermatologist. I've been to the dentist. They stack stuff. We're talking thousands. So you get there and you get to the bottom. You're like, this is going to be $3,100. Okay. To do this whole program, it's going to take about 4 months, 6 months, whatever, 24 visits, 36, 48 visits, whatever you do. And you get to the bottom and it likes to be $3,600. If you want to prepay this, we have an option for this. But what most people do is they just divide it into the 4 months. And that's it. I say you get 10% off for making a decision today. That's going to be $310 off of this. I'm not going to be able to do the math. $2,700 divided by 4, $625 a month, whatever it may be. Okay. How does that sound? And then you just wait. You wait for them to do this. So I've bundled everything. It's called the value stack. You bundled everything in there, and it's all written on a piece of paper. It's literally written on a simple piece of paper in Chicken Scratch. I write it all down. This is what they get. I put it in front of them. How does this look? On the very bottom, it says 3,100, 2,700 if you divide that into 4 payments. Some of you, if you want to do a bigger discount, if they pay up front, that's great. My mentality of that is like, why do the rich people get a bigger discount? Like most people are like, oh man, 3,100, that's a lot. And then you give them a financing option, like 600. I can do 600. You took a 4-digit number and you made it a 3-digit number. That's doable for me. Some of them are like, man, 600 is kind of steep. That's it. That's all that's going through their head, right? They may be saying this out loud. Analytical people are not. They're keeping this in their mind and they're thinking about it. So all you need to do is just be quiet the whole time. The biggest thing I've learned over the last 5 years, and the thing that has been getting better, is silence and just listening and talking less. I think that's why I do all these podcasts. So I get all my talking out. So I go to practice and I just be a good listener. But it works for me. And that there's so much power in that time because you truly do not know what's going through their head. It's one of 3 things: time, money, skepticism. But that's how you can address it. So if they don't make a decision right there, like, yeah, let's fix this. Let's go. 4 payments, $650. You're done. You move on. Great. I'll get you all signed up with Brittany after this. And you can either go close that right there at the front or go ahead and start the adjustments there. It's up to you. But that's where the bundling thing comes all together. And these are what systems and procedures are to help increase the integrity of your office. First off, price yourself well. Price yourself well. Do as many or as little. And this is where ethics and morals come into play. People are like, oh man, that's just a business tactic. It's really not a business tactic. I'm giving the patients exactly what they need. Not all my patients get spinal decompression. Not all my patients get to use the red light machine. Not all my patients get acupuncture. Not all my if they don't need it. So the most basic thing is chiropractic, and I value stack that. And with the upper cervical component, I think that's taught me a lot about like being niche and doing something that I feel is different and above, but when really it isn't. It's so much easier to do upper cervical than it is to do anything else. You're teaching the patients, listen, we're going to search for an upper cervical subluxation, and I'm going to do one adjustment. You're going to lie down. And that's worth more than my full spine adjustment. How did that ever happen? Where did the value come there? Because of my personal belief on the upper cervical spine. I'm like, I am doing this patient a bigger favor, and I've seen so many more miracles with this than full spine adjustments. We still do full spine. That's just my example. I'm just sharing it with you guys. It means absolutely nothing to you. But this is where you're going to take and bundle. So don't let these thoughts get through your head. You run a business, and you're here listening today because you want to make more money. That's not a bad thing. Stop, drop, and roll when it comes to money. Do not worry about thinking about how to make more money. We all want to do it. But when we stick to principles and systems that work, you won't run into trouble running into things and chasing things that make more money. This is where a lot of people are getting into trouble. They're trying neuropathy. They're trying big package plans, big things that they really haven't experienced yet. And they wonder why they can't master that skill. If you can't sell a $3,000 care plan, how are you going to sell a $13,000 care plan? Make sense? You got to get good at this stuff. You got to build your way up. Some of you are listening right now like, don't think I ever want to do a $13,000. How the heck would I do a $13,000 care plan? And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Does that make sense? That's bundling. So I want you to think about everything you do in your office. Some of you have massage therapists and you underutilize them. Here's a little tactic. You may agree or may not, and that's okay. What I've been doing for years is we'll do a care plan and I will put in one free, it's a value stack in the plan. And I told you this earlier when I was writing it out. You will also get massage therapy. Hey, Mary, I put one in here for you. It says 0 right there. It's on the house for 2 different reasons. 1, I don't know if you like massage. 2, I don't know if you like our massage therapist. Either way, go try it. It's on the house. If you like it, Stephanie's going to tell you a plan for massage therapy that she finds during that session. Sound good? She's like, great. Yeah. I'm like, I'll give you the green light when you're ready. You're super inflamed right now. Probably not best this week. If you're feeling better by next week, maybe we can get you in for that massage. Sound good? Great. And my massage therapists are all trained and know that when these chiro patients come in, they're just supposed to talk for the whole 60 minutes. They're supposed to talk about everything they find, do an assessment, and tell them what now they think they need over the next 3 to 4 months, because they know they're going to be working with us for 2, 3, 4 months. So they usually say, over the next 2 months, I think you should come in every other week, or you should come in every week. So let's go to the front. I'll get you signed up for a bundle for 8 visits, right? 8 massages over the next 2 months that you can use over the next 2 to 3 months. And you get a little discount if you bundle that all together. It works. It totally works. They do a great job. Some of you have massage. That's how we make it work. And they charge $80 or $100 per visit for that, or more if they do more than 60 visits. 60 minutes massages. I'm going to wait and see if you guys have any more questions about bundling or value stacking. You just got to try it. You just got to do it. I am in no way, shape, or form a master of this, but I am always improving. I'm always seeing the more people you talk to, the better your psychology skills get. YouTube. Good. I think we're good. Any other questions, guys? I'm here for you. And you can go completely off topic. Here's your chance. Here's your chance. I come up with stuff like, honestly, the weekend before. I'm like, what am I going to talk about on Monday? What's been top of mind for people? And try and bring you some new stuff every week. But I'm here for you. If you got a question about anything, hiring, firing, 2024, social media, TikTok, I mean, whatever it is, if I got the answer, I will share it with you. Anything there? Okay, bundles. Try bundling. I hope that just you walk away tonight and you're just like thinking, okay, what should I bundle? Or how can I bundle? Or how do I do this? You don't discount each service. You bundle them together and discount them. Like in our office, we do $150 for decompression and we do $75 for a straight up adjustment. Typically, people do both. Same exact example, 24 chiropractic visits, 12 decompression visits, 36 chiropractic visits, 24 decompression visits. If it's like C3 or L3, L4, L5 herniated, 36 chiro, 36 decompression, just from the literature. So we'll bundle those together and it's 150 for decompression and it's 75 for chiropractic. I tested my market. These were massive plans and we were getting a lot of, I can't do that. I'm like, but you're in a lot of pain. And here's the answer. And they're herniated. You got to do it. They're like, yeah, but that number is too high. Like, I can't pull that off. So what we did is we cut the decompression in half. So on our spreadsheet, it says $75 for chiropractic and then $75 for decompression. So it's $150 per visit and they get 10% off that. So $135 per visit. For me, at the end of the day, the machine's being paid for and the chiropractic's being paid for. I'm perfectly happy with that. Our success rate, our conversion rate on that went up to 100%. Boom. Instead of the 60% we were getting before. You got to listen. You got to test your market. You got to listen. It was new for us. We were figuring it out. And then 2023 happened. What a year this has been. For those of you that feel like you're getting a lot of no's, everyone's getting no's. I was just talking to the guy who sold me my car last year, and he sold me the car before that 3 years ago at Lincoln. I'm like, how are things going, man? I know there's a supply chain issue. He's like, yeah, people want cars, but they're not. They're coming in and say no. I'm like, but there's tons of new cars out there. Like people are buying them. He's like, yeah, but not like before. There's definitely been a decline in sales. I'm like, wow. So it's been noticed across all industries, except for food and healthcare, because we need to eat and we get sick. So those are just two things that have been straight up. But if you're feeling it, it's across the nation. It's not just you. This is where you need to strengthen and get louder and be tighter and do more productive things and stop wasting your time with useless activities. It's just now. You just don't have the time to be going out there trying stupid stuff. Go back to the basics and do what works and then maximize that. It's so great. Good. We'll wrap it up. I try and keep this at 30 minutes. How's everyone else doing? How's everything else going? We doing good? I feel like I'm missing something. This says Facebook. Go to Facebook. Good. Okay. Nothing on YouTube. Perfect, guys. That's great. So I'm not missing anything there. I'm on LinkedIn now too. This is crazy. I can't even keep up. How do you guys do this? How do you keep up your social media? I keep looking at virtual assistants. They're all idiots. Um, not that they're idiots. It's just we do something very unique when we try to pump out our content as chiropractors that they're trying to streamline everything. It's not organic. It's not what we want. If you know a good virtual assistant that does social media, let me know if they're taking on new businesses. But that's a great way to find delegate, right? Is through virtual assistants. We're looking at that too. So great. Any other questions? I'm closing on a satellite practice. Isn't this exciting? It's like an hour away from where we're at, and I hate the drive, and I don't want to do it, and the opportunity is too good, so I'm going to do it, and hopefully not get a divorce. And just being honest, sharing stuff. Anyone have satellite questions? I have tons of satellite questions, so if anyone can answer my questions, that'd be great. Too good of an offer. The doctor has to go to Texas, and it's just such a great opportunity. So we're going to make it work. It all works out, right? That's how we all think about. Always expanding, always growing, being smarter, because this is where we're going in 2024, guys. It's not going to get better in 2024. I don't know what everyone's hoping for. Decreased interest rates, not going to happen. Decreased home prices, not going to happen. We're going to see commodity prices balance out to normalcy again, whatever the heck that means. But we are going to see a decrease in some prices, as we run into it. Black Friday was a new record this year, so in spending, just because of inflation, not because of actual purchases. So you got to know the statistics, both in your practice and in the real world. You have to dig a little bit deeper. So know those deeper numbers when it comes to that. So I don't know what anyone's expecting in 2024. You just got to get better at these things that we go through. And it's going to sound like a turning hamster wheel that we go through. It seems like I got all these ideas and content, but really, if you listen to all of it and you're engaging, eventually you're going to be like, did we do this loop? And I'll be like, yep, you've been listening for 6 months. So that's it. That's a 6-month curriculum that I have. And it's just going to loop again. But that's really it. When it comes to our businesses, there's only so much that we really need to focus on. So when we get to that point, that's it. And it's the patient care. It's the day one experience. It's the closing for day two. Whether you like that word or not, you're always closing. I love when I run into the doctors, they're like, I don't do care plans. I'm like, you always do a care plan. You have to put it in your notes. Do you have an EHR? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, then you do care plans. You have to put the treatment plan right in there. Well, you have no treatment plan? They're like, not really. I'm like, yes, you do. You have a treatment plan. Did you tell a patient to come back? So, yeah. I'm like, well, that's a plan. It's a 1-visit plan. You have a 1-visit plan. You're going one by one. Why are you telling them to come back? Do you ever tell people you're done? And they're like, yeah, sometimes. I'm like, you're an idiot. Why would you tell someone they're done? Why are they done? Does a dentist tell you you're done? Hey, thanks for visiting us. I hope to never see you again. It makes no sense. Like, leave the door open. I don't care if you're an acute chiropractor. When you're done with the 6 visits, it's always the door open. Hey, next time you sprain your ankle, give me a call. Right? I mean, you got to leave them an option with that. We forget to do the little things. We just assume that people are going to come back and the phone's going to ring, because it has been your entire career. It's just not happening at the frequency that you want it. And when we start getting more new patients, we run into troubles because our systems and procedures are not in place. I've run into this with everyone. I coach them. They all of a sudden get an influx of new patients. They're all excited. They make $30K extra. Like, the numbers are outstanding. And then 2 months later, they're running into bottleneck issues in their practice because they didn't fix the systems and procedures that were broken in the first place. They're like, oh, I'm back down. I'm spending way more on marketing. I'm like, yeah. And now you're in the marketing hellhole of spending thousands on marketing, trying to patch the issue that's in the office, to fix these little things, the communication, the day two, the bundling, your value. Don't slash your value. Please, just that's got to be your motto for 2024. You're so valuable to your community. Do not devalue yourself. So confusing to your market too, to your current patients. They're like, I don't know what they charge. I don't know how they work. You've got all these rules. You do care plans, and then when they want to go pay as they go, it's like they're getting penalized for being pay as they go. Um, we have a standard fee. It's the same fee no matter what they want to do. So we make it easy. And if they have a question like, hey, can I just buy 10 instead of doing your monthly plan? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Sure, you can buy 10 because we have the fees in front of us. We're like, sure, do you want me to bundle 10 for you? They're like, yeah. Do I get a discount? No, not really. That's our discounted price. You're getting a bundle of 10. They're like, okay. For some reason, they're like, okay, great. And they have their 10. Great for this time of the year with HSAs, FSAs. Great for them to bundle that stuff and buy 10. That's a great thing for next year. You're getting paid now. You got 10 visits for them. They're probably going to use, if you do 10 and smaller numbers, they will probably use that within 3 months. I found the bigger bundles, people use 6, 7, 8, and then those last 4 or how many you do are saved on their account for freaking ever. They're gone for a year and then they come back. And you have to honor the visits that you gave them, or at least honor the credit that you gave them. So that's why I don't like the long-term bundles. Short-term plans, I used to do 1-year care plans. They worked well, decreases the monthly fee, but very few finish the 12-month because life changes. Life happens. They move, they change jobs, they run out of insurance, they get laid off, whatever happens. So a lot of different stuff. I'm asking myself questions and answering them, and you're watching this. I don't know how this works. It's so much easier when you ask me questions. All right. Is that it? I'll wait probably 60 more seconds. If you guys have any more questions, you got me right now. Next week, we're going to do it again. Then it's Christmas. So nothing on Christmas Day. Then it's New Year's Day. Not going to do it there either. And then, so I'll see you on the 8th. Okay. So next week and then the 8th, but you can message me anytime. Half of you got my cell phone number. You text me all the time. So that's great too. But here, any other questions about December 2023? Questions in your head? Facebook ads. If you've been pondering Facebook ads and you're about to start one, don't do it. Pull the plug in the new year, because now you're competing with everyone marketing on Facebook right now. It's just your cost per click is going to be huge. Save your money. It's not worth it. I don't think you'll be able to get under $30 leads right now. You're probably going to end up be paying 50, 60, 70. I think my last ad that I started a couple of weeks ago, $72. I shouldn't be admitting that. That was horrible. So I turned it off. Not worth it for $72. Unless you're doing $3,000 care plans, then it's always worth it. Advertising has always been worth it for me. I mean, anyone that comes through the door is worth it because our conversion rate's high and our care plans are fair. They're fair value. So we're not doing cheap plans. So that's usually why marketing, you can't play the game unless you charge fair price. Good. That's all I got here. I don't think I'm missing anything. I'll double check. YouTube's clear. Okay, guys, you have a great night. Thanks for joining in. You got access to me anytime you want. Make sure you're in the Facebook 101 group. And that's where all the cool stuff happens. It's growing like crazy. We're going to hit 800. We'll see if we can do it by the end of the year, but that's fantastic. Here for you. I truly, people ask me, how do you have time to do all this? I don't know. I make the time. And 2, why do you do it? I just love this profession so much. It's just, you guys go in the trenches. I know how hard I work. Some days I think I'm lazy, and I know you guys work harder than I do. But we're out there for the same mission, just make people live healthier lives. It's, so I get it. And me being taken advantage of for a decade through marketing and gimmicks and practice management and modalities and shiny new objects. I'm just like, man, they're just attacking us. We're just another customer to a whole bunch of different industries. So no need to do that. Go out there, strap on the armor, and save your community. All you need is your hands. That's what's so cool about our profession, is that's all you really need. So if you need anything, reach out to me. Have a great week. If I don't see you next week, Merry Christmas. Have a fantastic year. God bless, and all the best in 2025.